Currie Cup rugby wrap-up, as well as a look at Week 5. I'll give you my handicap projections. The idea, of course, is to see how close I'll be to the bookmakers to determine whether an early move into the betting markets needs to be made. I must say, it wasn't a great weekend for me, though. I actually liked 2 of the 3 handicaps, but got involved in all sorts of ways. Couldn't really watch the games properly. One of those weekends where I should have sat out of it, but unfortunately I did get involved and never had a particularly good time of things. Well, just before you do anything else, if you are new to our channel, you can go down below and hit the subscribe button. Make sure you don't miss out on any of our videos. We are trying a new platform called StreamYard, hoping it's going to work out now that Google Hangouts have been done away with. Going to be interesting when we do our live shows on Monday and Thursday nights. Without further ado, though, let's go and have a look at the weekend's results. There were 3 upsets. Can you believe it? It was a really hard weekend to make money, I've got to say. And we'll have a look at the results here now. We've got the Cheetahs up against the Lions. That was on Friday night, 24-22 to the Lions, winning on the road. The Lions were big underdogs for this game, double-digit underdogs, in fact, and they came from 19-0 down to win the match. I only saw part of the first half, and it was all Cheetahs at that stage, so no idea how the Lions managed to win this, but they did. They won it by 2 points. Their 3rd consecutive come-from-behind victory, and they are unbeaten and looking good for the playoffs. We had the Pumas against the Sharks starting here 7-point favorites, but it was the Pumas that won by 7. After resisting early Sharks pressure, they managed to win the match. The Vodacom Bulls against the Griquas, well, the Bulls were very, very strongly fancied here, and it was the Griquas who won by 22 points, much like they did against the Sharks in Week 1. They went away from home and won well. And, given the hammering they took at the hands of the Cheetahs in Bloemfontein last week, I don't think anyone would have expected this, although Henrik Swart did call the Griquas victory on our Thursday night show, the Handicap Rugby Chat That Matters. Let's have a quick look at the table then. Bear in mind, this is a shortened tournament. Teams only play 6 games. If you look at the bottom here, you'll see the Bulls, they've got it all to do. They can only get up to a maximum of 15 points. So you'd have to say the Bulls look pretty much done and dusted. And towards the top of the table, the Griquas are looking solid, just that 1 defeat. The Lions have had 3 victories. The Cheetahs, well, that was their first loss. Western Province, well, they're going to have to pull right 2 losses out of their first 3 games. And really, the playoff race is still very, very competitive. And it's going to be interesting to see the way it pans out. Certainly, from a punting perspective, it's been a very tough tournament in terms of predicting who's even going to win games. Doesn't mean you can't make money on them. You could be making your money on points or on handicaps. But certainly, there have been a number of upsets. Let's go straight to this weekend's fixtures, and I'll take you onto the Good for the Game forum thread, which I'm about to start now. And just quickly to point out, we've got handicaps already, of course, on the Rugby Championships, plus 10.5 Australia against New Zealand, and Argentina plus 7.5 at home to South Africa. But here are the Currie Cup handicaps. We've got Friday. I think it's actually Friday afternoon, this one. Western Province up against the Pumas. And I've gone here, Western Province minus 12.5. None of my handicaps, I've got to tell you, are particularly confident at the moment. But I think Province will be firm favourites being at home there against the Puma side, though, that will be riding high after their victory on the weekend. The Sharks up against the Cheetahs. I actually considered making the Cheetahs favourite for this one, but I think the Sharks will probably get the nod there. I'm going minus 1.5 Sharks. That's the home team favourite. And then finally, the Lions up against the Bulls. Well, this is another tough one. I think the Lions will be favourites. It's a question by how many. I'm going Lions minus 7.5. So we'll see what happens there. So then that's the Currie Cup handicap projections and review. It certainly was a tough old week to make money. If you certainly if you followed my tips, you would have battled. Chris also battled a little bit with the previews, but there were guys out there who made bucks. Thanks very much for joining us. Please like and share these videos if you enjoy them. Let's spread the word and look forward to seeing you on some of our live shows later on in the week.